Hello, hello. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. My name is Matt. And even though the banner down there says get legendary shirts and hats here, you can also get mugs too at belegendary.shop. Ooh, I should start an infomercial. Happy to have you guys here. It is Wednesday, October 5th. It is 10:03 a.m. Eastern time. We go live every single Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. It's 7 a.m. Where I'm from because I'm a little bit further over on the west coast. So pumped to have you here. If you are tuning in live with us, or actually if you're here as a replay, either way is fine. Let us know where you're tuning in from. So give us a little comment and let us know where you're tuning in from. It's always fun to see where people are from, and we've got lots of people from all over the world. So let us know. And if you're new to the show, every single Monday through Friday we go live, and what we do is we bring on a new guest, somebody from our community or somebody who's killing it on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, or they're running some sort of a information or digital courses business or something like that, selling information. And so we just basically unpack a little bit about their strategy. We unpack a little bit about what has driven their success online. And most of these people are just brand new, or have only been around the internet marketing world or digital marketing world for about a year or so. So it's new and it's fresh and it's at cutting edge of what's working online. So anyway, we have an amazing guest this morning. We're gonna bring on. Her name is Jess. What up? How are
Hey,
you?
good,
I
good,
just
good.
said before we popped on live, I was like, "Whoa, I've seen your lives a lot recently," and I recognize the name kind of, but I didn't put two and two together until I came right here. So I think you've been on the show before. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I feel like just recently I've been seeing your lives on TikTok pop up a ton. Um, so yeah, that just means it's working, I guess.
Yeah.
For those of us who are new, and are like, "Hey, I didn't see your first episode." Tell us a little bit about you and your background, and how did you find Legendary? And tell us a little bit about your sort of journey to coming online.
So I worked in insurance for 14 years. I went to college for public health, got my degree, didn't do a darn thing with it. Went straight into insurance. I just kind of, got offered a job, took it, stayed there for 14 years. I actually don't work there anymore.
Wow.
Um, so I do not have a full-time job anymore. I work a part-time job now. I help my mom out. She owns her own company. She's needed help for a long time, but I just couldn't balance. I needed my income from my 9 to 5.
Sure.
So now I started doing this 6 months ago. I just watched some people on TikTok. Um, Finally, I think I watched them for like 8 months when I was home because we went remote for about 2 years.
Yep.
So was watching, was watching, was watching. And then finally they started to talk about going back into the office. And that's when I was kind of like, I don't really want to go back into the office and start paying for before and after care again.
Yep.
So I started doing this. I followed this woman for, again, about 8 months, Robin. And
Yeah.
then I clicked the link and purchased the 15-day challenge. So here I am.
Nice. Did you say for 8 months?
Yeah, about eight
Dang.
months. I was watching different people,
Cool.
and it kept, in the beginning, it was just like, oh no, just scroll. And then I'd start to
Yeah.
see different people. And then finally, I don't know what it was, but Robin in particular, I was like, yeah, I could kind of, okay, fine, I'll do it. So,
That's cool. I like that.
yeah.
It's a real testament to just, some people have sort of a very, well, not a super short term, but they think of business or sort of this influencer kind of thing in a very short term, you know, uh, uh just a short term sort of time frame. And it is interesting that, you still remember the name of that person. I mean, it's like a long time later, but I mean, you've been introduced to this over a year ago and hung around, looked around, clicked around,
Mhm.
watched a lot of videos. And it is just a real insight into a customer's journey when you unpack that, because it is very true. I wrote about a few months ago, I wrote this weekly roundup email for Legendary, and it said something like, the worst $30 a month I've ever spent. And I was paying for an email client.
Yeah.
But the only reason I bought that stupid email client was because I got hit with ads for like 2 years from this damn thing, and I was finally like, "I think the only way I can stop the ad is just I have to buy it." So I finally bought it, and then it was just like, "Dude, what a dumb." Yeah, okay. But, it's just, again, a testament to persistence, putting content out there, and seeing the longer term vision. I mean, some people quit posting content 3 months in, and it's like you just said, some people will just hang around for 6 months before they ever get, to doing anything, and that's just typical human behavior. That's just we
Right.
like to feel things out for a little bit. So,
Mhm.
you dive into the challenge. Had you tried anything before, like any drop shipping or anything like that before?
So I did an MLM.
Mhm.
I did an MLM.
Which one?
Um, it was face cream,
Yeah, cool.
facial, whatever, lotions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, but I just wasn't. And so in college, actually, for like 6 months or so, I sold Cutco. Do you know Cutco, the knives?
I went to an interview for them when I
Yeah.
was in college also.
Yep. So I sold knives. I didn't sell very many knives, but I sold some knives for Cutco when I was in
Okay.
college. And then one of my friends was doing this MLM, and she reached out, and I think she was just trying to grow her. To succeed in those MLMs, you have to form your own little
Your
group below
downline.
you. Yeah, so she reached out to me, and I was like, because I didn't know anything about it, so I was like, oh, I'm special. She's reaching out to me. She probably reached out to every single person that she knew. But so
Mhm.
I bought into it and started doing that. I think I had like two parties, and I made something. I didn't make a lot, but
Yeah.
I was that person who was like, it's okay, it's okay. Don't feel like you have to purchase anything.
Right.
So I was not a good salesperson. I did not do very well in that. But that was my only try to get out of the 9 to 5,
Yeah.
hustle and bustle. It didn't work.
It's interesting. It's like it's interesting because a lot of people have that that college MLM try or that college direct sales thing. I think I saw that company on Craigslist, and I was just like, "Man, I could make that much money? That's crazy." And, then you get into the fine print and,
Yeah.
whatever, but there are a lot of people who have some little, they have some sort of like entrepreneurial thing. I don't know. I started selling stuff on eBay when I was in high school and just trying to make any sort of money. I needed to pay for basketball shoes because my parents were so cheap. They would only buy me one pair. And I was like, dude, like, I need more shoes. But yeah, okay. So you dive into our training. Um, you're also part of our masterminds. You're also just crushing it, and you've been doing super well. I'd love to take I would love for if you took us in to the last few months of content creation, getting started with content, and then, we titled this about, how to go live. Um, I'm curious how the process went from starting to create content, getting the idea to go live, and then how is that progressed? Because when people start going live, that is the moment that they're, like, the most scared. Like, people are like, "This is so scary."
Yeah.
And I keep telling people, you should really do it because 'cause it'll transform you as a person, as an entrepreneur, and it'll transform your business too, but um, it's scary, and I think we all need to acknowledge it's a little scary at first.
That's
But tell
really
us
scary.
about your first content creation, and then how did you hear about going live, and then what got you to start going live and keep going live?
So I just started, after I went through the 15-day challenge, I did the blueprints.
Mhm.
And then I just started making content about how to make money online, different ways, talking about, how you're transforming. I wasn't really talking so much about like the money because I wasn't making any money. So I wasn't
Yeah.
going to talk about that. Um, and then, so my TikTok was doing well. And then I started on Facebook, and Facebook was doing like really well. Facebook took off a lot faster than TikTok. But then TikTok I was in like the warning. I'm still in the warning stage. Like every time I go on, it says your account is, one more, whatever. It's been months. I think I had 3 videos flagged, 2 put back up. The third, I don't even know why it was taken down, but it was. So it's still on warning. Like I haven't gotten off a warning. So I wasn't getting any followers on TikTok at all. People were not
Wow.
seeing my videos. Like every time I go
Wow.
and look at the stats, the views, it was like in the 50s for
Jeez.
like weeks. So I was like, this isn't working. So I started another TikTok, and that one's growing like molasses. So it's fine. So I started going live. I was like, you know what? Maybe if I go live, at least I can get followers through that.
Sure.
If nobody's seeing my content anyway, I might as well go live and see if that can make a difference. So the first time I went live was, awful. It was off the first couple times, but the first one in particular was just awful. Like I was
Join the
just talking to
club.
myself. It's very strange to be talking to yourself when you have like 2 people watching, right? So then I'm like, what the heck do I talk about now? Like at that point, I didn't really even know what I was doing. So
Yeah.
I feel like to go live, you have to kind of have some sort of knowledge at that point,
Mm-hmm.
because you have to be able to answer at least some questions. You can't just be like, I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know. Because then they're like,
Then
person
they're
knows
like,
nothing. What
what the hell are you doing
what
then?
am I
Like, why are
watching?
you live? Yeah.
Yeah. So once I watched Amy Hires
Mhm.
Hears. So I
Mhm.
watched her a few times. I mean, I still watch her lives every once in a while. She's amazing. Her lives are awesome. So
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I can do this the way that she's doing it. This is
Mhm.
simple, simple,
Sure.
but I can try to get into this, explaining the 15-day challenge, going from start to finish. So I started, I
Right.
think 3 weeks ago, going live twice a day,
Cool.
every day, Monday through Friday.
Twice a day?
Yeah, I go
No
live.
wonder no wonder
Yeah.
you're all over my For You page.
Yeah, I go at 11 a.m. and then 4 p.m. Eastern, twice a day, every day, Monday through Friday. And
Damn.
it's been crazy. I mean, I get a lot of leads throughout while I'm live, and then the videos, I think TikTok kind of pushes them out a little bit more when you go live, which
Mhm.
is good. Again, I'm still not off that warning, but hopefully someday. I don't know. Maybe
Well,
someday I'll be off a warning.
yeah, well, maybe someday. I feel like, man, you just hit on 2 amazing points. One is, uh, I've seen this all the time where the videos start to kick a little bit more. They get a little bit more traction, a little bit more traction, a little bit more traction. And the other piece, when you're going live. So like it just for whatever reason, accounts that go live a lot seem to have a lot of traction behind them too. But also generating a lot of leads. But I wanted to go back to where you said, I sort of watched Amy and I was like, hey, you know what? This is, and you used the word simple. And you kind of like almost like buckled a little and like, well, simple, but it really is simple. I think that a lot of times, for instance, one thing, when I was really investigating, like, what do people do when they go live and how do people make it work? I would I would go on my For You page and scroll till I found a live, and then I didn't know how to get to live fast, but I would tap the live, and then once I'm in a live and scroll, then it's all just lives. And so I would look and just wait until I found a couple people who were like, "Wow, there's a ton of people viewing this. This is what what's going on here?" And then I just thought what you pointed out was so powerful because, there's nothing special about Amy. She is an amazing entrepreneur. She's crushing it. But like it's more so she's found a rhythm and she's found sort of it's like a presentation. It's like when you craft a really powerful sales presentation, it's something that you can do and you can recreate over and over and over again. It's just a really good offer. And we've had lots of people in our community do that. And I just think that that's powerful for people who are like, what would I even say if I went live? It's like, well, just kind of look around, look around and discover the other powerful thing. I mean, Dave shares this a lot of times, but Dave, when he was first starting online, what he did is he was sort of in this niche in network marketing and stuff, but he would just look at examples from other niches, like totally different industries, but kind of related, like maybe like financial industry, like stock trading, or like different things. What's really going on? And then take those approaches of marketing and just apply them, even like headlines, video ideas. Heck, if you really want to know, here's a little glimmer into legendaries marketing. I found a really great offer the other day, and it's in oh god, what is it in? This is embarrassing. Um, it's in female dating basically. It's a female, but she's teaching men how to attract women. And I am not in the market for this. I swear to God. But I found the page, and you know what I did? I watched the video and I was like, this is great marketing. This is brilliant marketing. And then I had Joanne go and take and transcribe that whole video, because I was like, I want to see every word, every angle, how it pivots and transitions, because there's an amazing hook at the beginning of the video. So we use this little software called otter.ai, and it's you can just transcribe any video, and then you can look at the format and flow of everything. So, sometimes people are like, wow, you guys are brilliant marketers. Wow, what an amazing offer. It's like, Dave is an amazing offer creator, but there's so much that's pulled from different ideas in to create offers and lives and stuff, and I think that's powerful. So as you've got started with lives, you're doing them twice a day, which is amazing. You've got a lot of lead flow. You got a lot of sales and commissions too. Making a lot of money, which is awesome. Congrats on that. You're killing
Thanks.
it. And so as you've been going live, and do you feel like your maybe anxiety levels, or the level of difficulty, let's call it like intimidation factor of being intimidated at going live and like whatever, has that lowered and lessened? Do you feel more comfortable?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I started off with like an outline. So I made like an outline and I would kind of like glance at it and hit on the points, because in the beginning you don't have any viewers, right? So you're just like
Yeah.
practicing, because you start off with a bunch and you're like, holy crap, there's like 300 people on here, and then within like a minute there's no one.
Yep.
So I just used it as, okay, I'm gonna write out an outline, and I'm just gonna do my whole thing. I don't care if there's anyone on it. I'm just gonna practice. So that's what I tell people. My live. So I'm like, just, it doesn't matter if there's not anyone on. In fact, it's good if there's no one on it, because you're gonna suck in the beginning. You are. You don't know what you're talking about. You know,
Right.
you've never done it before. You're talking to yourself. It's very uncomfortable.
Yep.
But then by like the third, I mean, honestly, it was like by the third time, I had like 15 people that stayed on and they were commenting. So then it was so much easier. I was like, oh my God, it's amazing to actually like answer questions and comments versus
Right.
just, okay, now we're going to talk about this. And so I started with an outline, and now I don't
Totally.
even use the outline. I just kind of go through the same thing from start to finish on affiliate marketing, basically. And then I talk about the 15-day challenge. Most people, someone in there will mention the blueprints. So then I talk about the blueprints.
Cool.
It's been really good. I don't know. It's been good.
Yeah, it's amazing. There's a there's a whole entire world, billions of people. It's funny because I don't know how many people come on your live, but it might be 100, 200, 500, whatever. But there's just billions of people out there who would die to know this knowledge. So it's also one of these things where um, you just have unlimited potential. And because there's so many people out in the world who are going to stumble upon a live, especially when you're live twice a day. I wanted to I wanted to just I had this aha moment as you explained this. This is why I love this show, is because when people explain things differently than I think about them, I get like, whoa, that's a great way to think of this. You know, I think with some people, the way that we approach jobs, and this is gonna be a little shift. We're still gonna talk about lives, but the way that we think about jobs is we are totally happy and it's totally normal to devote 40 hours a week to our job, right? And for to help get somebody else rich, to help somebody else's, dreams come true. And going live twice a day, let's say for 30 minutes or an hour, seems like wow, the world would crash down and it would be so overwhelming and it would be so wow, that's so much work. But when you really think about it, that's really crazy that it's, maybe 2 hours a day.
Right.
Like, that could only be just a tiny part of your workday. I
Right.
It's a lot of work. I don't wanna take anything away. I'm not trying to say this is easy, but when you reframe things, it's like, wow, okay, that's only like 15 hours a week. That's if I go live for an hour twice a day. And then I've got all of the rest of like my day to still build my business or whatever. Even if I have a full-time job, now I'm still only at like 55 to 60 hours and I've gone live twice a day or, whatever. I don't know. That was just powerful and eye-opening to me because a lot of our particular community places a heavy weight on going live. Like this is this is a huge burden, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm just gonna hop on twice a day. Here we go. Same thing with Calvin Hill. He'll go live for 3 or 4 hours at a time. And I saw Ian in the comments, and Ian, same deal. Like they'll go live for multiple hours at a time and just chat, and it's no wonder their channels blow up. It's no wonder your channel's blown up um, because that's a way for you to cut through. I always explain this like an onion. If there's layers of buyer's resistance, meaning people need a little bit of time. Remember how you started the show and said, it took me a few months.
Yeah.
There's layers that you've got to kind of peel back and get comfortable with until you're like, okay, I'm ready to buy today. And people in your audience, people who will follow you, whatever, are sort of peeling back layers, and going live is like the sharpest knife. It's one of the sharpest tools that you have in your little marketing kitchen where you can just cut straight to the middle. You can bust through all of the, man, is this person real? Do they actually know what they're talking about? Well, guess what? When you're live and you're in front of people, people are going to know you're a real human being. You are there, you're ready, so it's just, yeah, it's really powerful. So I wanted to just say that because I think that in order for you to go live twice a day, I'm guessing that you had to sort of reframe this as like, this is part of my work day. This
Hmm.
is I'm going to work and I'm going to work on my business.
Yep.
And man, that's cool. I applaud that. That's such a cool way to look at that. Um, in your going lives, like when you ditched the outline, so you totally ditched the outline. Now I'm guessing you have a lot more interaction just with people. And I thought that was helpful for people who are like, man, maybe this would be the first time I'll go live. What would I do? Well, you can have a little outline. You can have it on your screen, on your computer screen, or just on a piece of paper or something. And have your phone up. You could hold it up or you could have it on a tripod and then just freaking hit go live. And um but for people who are nervous about that first time and nervous about like, what types of bullet point things would you put on? Let's say that somebody's, let's do a totally different example. Let's say that somebody's like in weight loss, right? And they're like, I'm gonna go live, and maybe they are currently promoting like a free recipe guide or something, like a I don't know what you would a recipe book or a PDF report or something, right? With healthy recipes. What types of stuff could we put on an outline for like a weight loss live? Like what kind of stuff, what do you think we could put on that? Do you have any ideas for people?
I mean, I just kind of you just start with the basics. I mean, not a lot of, I mean, if you're doing like a healthy food type thing, you could just literally, I mean, break out calories. Like people don't, not
Totally.
everybody knows the simple things that not everybody knows that. And so a lot of people on your live are completely
Bingo.
new to everything. They have no idea. Like, for example, my mother-in-law thinks that fruit snacks are healthy because they have the word fruit in them.
Yes.
You're not. Like
Ah.
I had to give her a lesson. This is not healthy. Like they
Hey,
cannot have
quit
3
throwing
packs
these
of
sugar balls at my kids.
right, but like this, it's just break it down as simply as you
Yeah.
can. So now I think I've like not mastered at all. I mean, again, I've only been doing this for like 6.5 months now, but
Yeah.
simple. Just make it simple. So a lot of people comment on my live and they're like, you know, there's a lot of people who are talking about this $7 course, right? There's a lot of
Yeah.
people out there.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, there is, but they're like, you know, you have made it so simple, so simplified that it
Mm,
seems doable. Like a lot of it's just sometimes it's really hard to break things down to be simple, and we feel like we have to overcomplicate everything, and we you don't. Like it's really not that complicated. Of course
yeah.
there are difficult parts of it, and you know, but the main concepts are simple. You just have to be able to break it down. So regardless of what your niche is, simplify it, break it down into
Mm,
these are what calories are, you know, because not
totally.
even if you know that and you're like everybody knows that, they don't. People don't know that. Like,
Totally. I was
so,
hoping you would say that. Um, the break it down in the simplest form, right? Yeah, if you're in the weight loss, and it's just the basic bare bone calories versus,
mhm,
input, output, all that stuff. Like, oh, that's and in your particular niche, just breaking down the very bare bones stuff. So I've always sort of thought of this as like a learn, do, teach. That's sort
mhm,
of like the simplest way to think about it. But really, like, if I sometimes imagine this like, okay, if I was like a legit dog training like business and I sold a digital course called Matt's Dog Training Pro 2.0 or something like that. And I was doing that like anytime that I would learn a new learn a new skill or something, or
teach it.
I would take exactly. I would sort of quickly master that. I would learn something, I would kind of quickly master that skill, and then I would be like, "Okay, I'm gonna share this. Like, I'm gonna share the number one secret I've got to, getting your dog to heel on command, or whatever, and then I'm gonna video this, and I'm gonna create this, or I'm gonna freaking go live, and I'm gonna put a little banner up on my live above my head that says, 'How to get your dog to heel immediately.'" And I'm gonna be sitting there with my crazy ass dog who's barking like crazy and be like, "Hey, look, we're gonna turn this nightmare into an obedience fest here in just a second," and get a little creative with it. But I would take every single bit of information I learned. I'd be reading books on dog training. I'd be taking courses on dog training, and everything I would learn, I would be teaching that all the time. I'd be
Mhm,
repeating that, teaching it constantly, but coming back to the basics. Dog trainers think, getting your dog to heel is the very bare, but like obviously like that's the most basic thing ever. Like I'm gonna go teach more advanced stuff. It's like, no, 99% of your people, their dogs are pulling on their leash.
sure.
They're basically choking themselves on their collar. They're pulling people into road. It's like it's a disaster, and keeping that bare bones basic approach, um, that is the key. That is the key to success. And all especially as an affiliate marketer where you're just selling one product or course, let the course creators do all of the advanced stuff,
Mhm,
because you can just keep it super, super bare bones simple. And if people have more advanced questions, you can always ask them. But
yep.
um, so when you're if you're going live twice a day and you're also creating content, are you repurposing to all the different platforms too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So
right now I do 3. So TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. I've been saying for like
got it.
weeks I need to start a YouTube, and I will. I need to start a YouTube, but right now I do the 3. So yeah, I repurpose on
Today's today's your call to action. And here's why I'm starting to see a lot of traction on YouTube
I
Shorts.
know.
And I've been slowly waiting. Basically what I do is I just watch this kind of stuff nonstop. But I've been waiting for a little bit of traction from YouTube Shorts, and I just haven't really seen it. But I'm starting to see it right now.
Okay.
And so it's a great time to hop on YouTube. But it's also, I told somebody this the other day. I think with TikTok, Instagram, all this different stuff, I think a lot of people have lost accounts, got restricted accounts on TikTok, stuff like that, right? You've experienced that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just far less likely to happen on YouTube. And so if you're
Okay.
able to sort of post also some long form content on YouTube, you can get that stuff ranked on Google. You can you can get paid from YouTube just, from their ads. A lot of benefits in terms of assets on YouTube, in addition to their shorts too, but long form content as well. You can really, yeah, you can really blow up. So anyway, that's your call to action for today. I don't think you really need a call to action though. I think you're killing it and crushing it. And yeah, you're dominating. Your last like week has been pretty amazing. So
Yeah.
um
Last week was crazy.
yeah, you're dominating. For people who are newer, Jess, for people who are newer and they're getting started on TikTok, they're getting started on Facebook, they're starting to post and or they're getting ready to hit post, right? They're getting ready to get ready. What would you tell those people? What would you tell people who are like, geez, like this whole content creation thing is hard. This is a little bit more intimidating and scary than I thought, or maybe they're getting ready to go live for the first time. What would you say to those people as sort of like a word of inspiration or motivation? And yeah, what would you say to those people?
You just model after other people.
Mm,
I mean, don't reinvent the wheel. You don't have to reinvent anything. You don't have to be a content creator. I like to do quotes. I do quotes a lot, if you haven't noticed.
yeah.
But you don't have to be a content creator. You don't have to be, know anything about social media in the beginning. Just start posting, model after other people, make it kind of your own. Don't just copy and paste, don't just copy what they're doing, but make it your own.
Yep.
Saying the information that they're giving, because if it's like normal information that you can find in a search, then just post it. But don't, a lot of people, especially on my lives, they've struggled with figuring out what their niche is going to be. And I'm like, just
Mm.
pick something that you like, you know, pick something you like and start with it. You don't have to, you're not stuck with it for the next 60 years. This
Right.
isn't like you're picking your career. You're going to college because you want to be a doctor. And then all of a sudden you decide, I don't really like being a doctor.
Right.
Pick something and then just move forward. Or like domain. I don't know what I want my domain to be. Just pick anything.
Right.
Anything that you can, don't pick something that's so specific where you're going to have to, like, Jess is dog training and now I'm promoting making money online, but my domain
Sure.
is Jess is dog training. But just move forward. Just keep moving because you can change anything. Like, that's the best part about this, is that you're not stuck in something forever. If you decide
Yep.
you don't like, I don't really like making money online. I mean, I don't know who wouldn't like that, but
Right.
and change it. Then change what you're talking
Yeah.
about. So just
Totally.
model after other people. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. And everybody's first video is not very good.
Yeah.
No, everybody starts with 0 followers. Everybody does it. But people don't believe me when I say that. And I'm like, I don't have 100,000
Yeah.
followers. I don't. You don't need it. I started
Yep.
with 0 on every platform, 0.
Right. Right. And yeah, totally. And guess what? You've got your channel up on TikTok, and guess how likely it is that I'm gonna scroll back and watch your first video and be like, "Wow, Jess, her content sucks." It's like, I don't have
Right.
time for that, nor does anybody else care. Like, no one cares.
Mm-hmm.
So I just tell people, yeah, just stack that content on there. Who cares about your first video? It's gonna be
Right.
gone soon anyway. So
Right. And the same with your first live. Your first live is going to be painful. It's really painful. Like the first one, I think I lasted for like 10 minutes and I was like, this isn't working for me. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to do something else. And then
right.
like 3 months later, I was like, you know what? I mean, I'm not getting a lot of traction right now with what I'm doing. So I feel like I'm putting effort in for nothing. For getting 50 views for a video is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I started going live, and then again, 3 weeks, and like, it comes really fast. I feel like
Yep.
it's very uncomfortable in the beginning, but I'm not nervous anymore. I just get
Yep.
on live and I start talking. And the best part about live is you get those people that come on and immediately, I get like 1 or 2 alive. She's scamming you. This is a scam. So then you can literally just talk to them and say, okay, I'm sorry that you feel that way. Let me know why you feel that way and we can talk about it. But nobody has anything to say after that. This is
Right.
a scam. And then they never come in again. It's like,
Right. Right. Right.
occasionally they'll say, well, my friend tried this and it didn't work. And I was like, okay, well, did your friend, how long did they try for? What did they
Right.
do? Did they take this training? Well, I don't really know. I'm like, oh, and it's very easy to just, get past that in a live versus when you just
Yes.
posting videos and people can comment whatever they want. And then, so that's the best part, in my opinion, of going live is that you can just talk to people if they have, if they're skeptical. I was skeptical. I think everybody is skeptical.
Totally.
And then you can kind of, debunk those feelings and make them realize that this isn't a scam. If you put in the work, which you have to do, and I make that very clear in all my lives, I'm like,
Yep.
this could potentially replace your 9 to 5, but you have to put in the work. If you're not willing to learn and implement, then you're not going to be successful. If you're going to quit in 3 weeks, it took me 2 months to get my first commission.
Yep.
It took me 4 months to get my first good commission. Like the first ones were like teeny, but I was excited
$5.
about it. Yeah, it was like $2.80.
Right.
Very small.
Totally.
But if I would have given up, I would have never been able to leave that 9 to 5. I would have never, it's just been amazing. And it really, truly can change people's lives, but you have to put in the work. And it's a lot of work in the beginning. It's not easy because especially since most people are starting this on the side of a 9 to 5. That's why I say, make sure you pick something you're interested in, at least a little bit, because otherwise it's going to be like working out. If you don't like working out, which I like working out. But if you don't like working out and you're working a 9 to 5, how likely are you going to actually be to go to the gym at 6 p.m.? Not very likely. It's the same with this. If you're working a 9 to 5, you have kids, you're juggling everything, you kind of want to at least somewhat, maybe a little bit look forward to what you're doing with your research or whatever you're doing. But if it's just making you miserable, then you're not going to be successful. So.
Oof. Yeah, that's powerful. That's really powerful. When you were saying that, I feel like, yeah, the whole it brought me back to something you said earlier where you said, just find something you're interested in. I could tell you had a little fire, and it was like, yeah, I just think finding something you're super interested in and pushing through those first initial live barriers and pushing through that first initial post barrier, and it's going to be ugly and it's going to be painful, but find something you're interested in and can talk about, choose that and just go. Um, and I think that that's so powerful. And what I really think is powerful is you're now making money, and even now, like your following's not even massive, right? It's not like 10 million
No.
followers. It's like you can take a following it's a big following. I mean, anybody who's got 10,000 followers, they're crushing it. That's not easy to do. But it's not massive. It's not an enormous following,
No.
and you're making money, and you're gonna have an experience that whole scam thing or this is fake in any niche. If I'm teaching dog training, I'm gonna still have those haters
Yeah.
who are like, there's gonna be other dog trainers who come on there and be like, dude, this doesn't work. This guy's scamming you. This is bullshit. Like, you have to have in-person dog training in order for this to work. You can't take an online course. That happens in every niche, in every industry. Sometimes people are like, well, I'm, this make money online industry, well, look at all the people who say this is a scam. It's like, yeah, I get it. But also this happens in every niche, every industry. People disagree over strategies to do anything to get your dog to behave differently. Parenting. I mean, go into some of the comments on some parenting coaches videos or some like it is wild.
Parenting is rough. Parenting that is a hard niche to get into just because everybody has their own way of doing things. And I feel so bad for these comments because it's like, I mean, harsh, like really harsh. And people parenting is a really personal thing. That's your life. If you're a parent, that is your life. And for people to just rip it apart the way that they do, oh my God, It's awful. It is
Yeah.
awful. This is a
It's wild, but it'll happen to people in every single industry that kind of thing happens,
yep.
and people are scared about that, so they'll run to different industries or they'll like, "Wow, is this true?" And at some level, you have to find some level of personal internal belief about what you're sharing and about what you believe in, and you have to sort of grip onto that, and you've got to really tune out everybody else. Or just not choose entrepreneurship because you're going to get steamrolled if all of that, matters forever.
Yeah.
Um, well, cool. So is this the best place for people to find you, Jess? Making
Yep.
money with Jess? Cool. And if you happen to pop on one of those lives, everybody, make sure you pop on and say hello and say, "Hey, saw you on Wake Up Legendary. Love the interview, whatever." And hit the like on her lives and give the lives a little bit of juice. Give them a little bit of fire, and hopefully set those things on fire. So Jess, thanks for popping on today. This is really
Yeah.
cool. I'm glad we got you on for a second shot here.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. It's been great.
We'd love to have you back on again. And, if for whatever reason we forget to reach back out or something, just shoot us over an email a couple months and be like, "Hey, I'd love to come back on. We'd love to have you back."
Sounds good.
Cool. Thanks, Jess. See ya.
Yep. Bye.
All right, everybody. If you're just listening, and you can't see the screen, it's Making Money with Jess. She is on TikTok, and go follow her. She goes live twice a day, so go follow. Oh, Jess, hang on, I'm gonna bring you back in. What time are you going live today?
11 a.m. and
Okay,
4 p.m. Eastern.
is that in
11
15
a.m. and
minutes?
4 p.m. Eastern. What?
Is that in 15 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, for everybody who's just sitting around on their couch doing nothing, you can go hang out with Jess in 15 minutes. Wow, what a great call to action this is, because now we've got them. We've got them hooked. There's hundreds of people on here right now who are gonna
Yeah.
hop on. It's at 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. All right. See you, Jess.
Bye.
Okay, it's Making Money with Jess on TikTok. Go find Jess, go give her a follow, and watch her live. She's gonna be live in, well, I mean, if you're watching this as a replay, it might not be in 15 minutes. But if you're here with us, excuse me, if you're here with us live in 15 minutes, she'll be live, and you can watch her on TikTok. Say, "Hey, saw you." Joe said sees Jess live on TikTok every day. Heather's gonna be there. I mean, everybody's gonna be there. It's gonna be a party, so everybody just head on over to Jess's TikTok, and it's gonna be the biggest live Jess has ever done on TikTok. I'm just building this up like crazy. It's gonna be a total party, and I want everybody to go comment on her live at 11 and say, "Hey, we were there on Wake Up Legendary. We're here for the party." And there's infinite seats. I think, Charlie. I think for a TikTok live, there's infinite seats. Yes, her account's about to blow up. It already has. I mean, she's crushing it. So, Making Money with Jess, go give her a follow on TikTok, and yeah, we'll see you back here tomorrow, same time, same place, 10 a.m. Eastern.